Who would have thought? Everybody, and welcome to the Box Out Boys podcast. We are the NBA podcast of the people, your home for lukewarm takes and substandard analysis. I'm Titus Two Shots Dominguez, and joining me tonight, it's Chris, the stats man Gorman. Hit him with the stats, Chris.
Hey. The Miami Heat are the first team to have a negative point differential in the regular season to make the NBA Finals since the 1958-59 Minneapolis Lakers, led by Elgin Baylor. The year after they made it to they lost 4-0 to Bill Russell Celtics for his second ever title. And the year after that, the Minneapolis then moved to Los Angeles. So,
wow. That is a stat.
Wow, that is a stat.
Wow.
Deep
getting
cut.
them buckets, deep cuts, getting them buckets tonight is a lawn boss, Joy McCroskey. Get that, Joe.
You guys want a lawn fact?
Yes, factoid.
The proper time to water your lawn during this severe drought we're having. Early in the morning. Wake up 5:30, kick those sprinklers on, get them going. Get the absorption before the sun burns it off.
Wow.
I wish you had a rhyme for absorption.
The absorption.
Get absorption before the distortion from the. I don't know.
It's something there. There's something there. There's some meat on that bone. It's all right.
Let's say, Adam, how about you draw? You
There's some meat on that bone.
Contortion.
Like a chicken nugget.
Contortion.
Like a contortion.
That's just a word that rhymes with
absorption. Well, he's gonna clean this all up later.
I'm leaving it.
Leave it in. It is the professional, the Brunson burner, Adam Bruns. How the levels tonight, Adam?
They are. I can't think of another rhyme for absorption. They're great. They sound great. They sound fantastic.
We sound as silly as ever, but we sound great. Thanks to our super producer. Well, we got a great show for you guys tonight. Obviously, it is finals week. Finally, I know last week we did a preemptive preview because it was basically all but certain that Miami was going to win.
I wasn't worried.
Celtics forced a game
Never
7.
concerned.
Never concerned. I think that there might have been concerned.
I was a little worried.
A little concerned. Game 6 felt like a magic moment that sealed the deal. I don't know what happened, but it doesn't matter. Heat. We got Heat Nuggets, baby. We're so close to saying our famous line, but it's Heat Nuggets. I'm excited for this finals. We're going to break it down here a little bit. We're going to talk about the Celtics almost making history, which was wild. We got some other topics. We're going to talk about who could be an all-star player if they played next to Jokic, a la Murray, who's balling out right now. Joey's got the rest of his top 10 Bulls highlights and lowlights. And Chris has got a little trivia for us tonight. So fun, action-packed show. But let's go ahead and get right into it with the Boston Celtics almost making history. Unbelievable comeback, coming back from 3-0 to force a Game 7. Only the fourth team ever to do it. So that history alone right there, I think one of them was from the 50s. I can't remember the last time it happened. I don't even remember.
2003, I think it said. Was it Blazers against the Nuggets?
Yeah, Blazers and Nuggets. I should have looked that up before the show. But I totally
versus
maybe
Bonzi Wells, maybe? I don't know.
It's weird. But Joey, let's start with you on this one, man. What did you make of the Celtics comeback? Did you kind of, Chris was kind of saying he never had a doubt. Did you kind of have some doubt creep in there after they rattled off 3 straight wins?
Well, I had a ton of doubts, but I just got to say thank God for Martin.
For Martin?
We're on the last name basis now. That's
Last
my
name
name.
basis, baby.
Last name basis.
Rob,
Thank
Rob the MVP, but whatever.
Thank God. I agree. Rob the MVP. But thank God for him. I agree. After game 6, I thought for sure like that was it. Like, could you imagine that gut punch? Like,
Yeah.
let's just go through that last 3 seconds of
Yeah.
the game, right? So Jimmy, awful game, has nothing going for him. He's getting to the free throw line. 3.5 seconds left, just double dribbles into the corner, throws up a prayer. They call it a foul and a 2 on the floor.
Gifted 3
seconds
free
left.
throws.
Celtics challenge, change it to a 3, and add seconds back on. So he get kind of a double whammy there, right? They get the 3 free throws, but they also get extra seconds. Jimmy goes, makes all 3. You think this is over, right? He's on the sideline mouthing one more stop. And then just the chaos of that play. Like Strus back to the inbounder. Marcus Smart fades a little bit, pulls him out of position. Derek White with the tip. This is why basketball is amazing. I told so many people, if you want a glimpse of why people love basketball, go watch the last like 2 minutes of this game, like actual time, not game time, and you'll get everything you need to know about why basketball is what it is, because you had just the absolute high and the absolute low for both of those fan bases in a stretch of 3 seconds. I was terrified. I was like, man, we did this preview already. Like, it's going to bite us. Like, it's going to be the first time it's ever going to happen. It's going to be because of us. Like, we jinxed it. But yeah, I mean, Boston, they fell victim to the same thing that they fell victim to all season long. Tatum did roll his ankle on the first play of the game, which was completely, unforeseen. But that's why you shouldn't get to a game 7 in the first place if you're them.
Yeah.
But they fell victim to exactly what they did all season, right? They either made a bunch of 3-pointers and then everything else opened up for them, and they got big leads and crushed people, or they struggled to hit 3-pointers and then they got into kind of like hero ball mode and they try to do it all at the same time. And they didn't make threes. Jaylen Brown had 8 turnovers himself.
Yeah.
Marcus Smart was pretty much a non-factor. Al Horford almost his entire series was a non-factor. And with Tatum being down, giving you 15 points, it could barely move. There was no prayer they had in game 7, and it ended up working that way for them. But, credit to Miami. Being up 3-0 and then losing 3 in a row, it's got to be a tough one to take. But to come out with all that pressure against you on the road against a team not just on paper, but significantly more talented than you, and to go into their arena and win that game, decidedly, and play just a very good game. All the credit to them, and like you said, it was not Jimmy. I mean, he had a higher point total in the series because he had big games, but Caleb Martin shot like 60% from the floor, which is for a guy who's undrafted or role player, whatever you want to call him. Stupid, but
the teammate ain't no role player.
That's right. Go Jimmy.
Yeah, it came out to be basically like Caleb Martin versus Derek White there at the end of game 7. It was kind of wild.
They put Derek White in the bench.
Yeah, and they benched him. Yeah, it was crazy.
Set him down. Brian Sam Hauser.
Going back to your point, Joey, we had done this preview, and then all of a sudden they rattled off 3 games. That was actually one of the reasons I was like, let's just go with the preview, even though they had lost that game. Because one, it had never happened. No team has ever come back from 3-0. So I was pretty sure like Boston wasn't going to do it. But I was like, let's invite this chaos. Let's do a preview for Heat Nuggets, knowing full well this series isn't over, and let's see what happens. And of course, they force a game 7. So, Chris, I mean, what did you think of those last 3 games? I mean, the epic comeback, the crazy buzzer beater, and then obviously just them falling short in game 7.
Yeah, I mean, when the Celtics won game 4, you're kind of expecting them, even though it's at Miami, to take a game, right? Some kind of respect.
Mm-hmm.
Then at Boston, it's like, okay, yeah, they can maybe win this.
Yeah,
but then game 6, it was kind of like, okay, the Heat should close it out here. And then they didn't. And even though, but I messaged you guys this, but he shot like 37% from 3 or from the field in that game. And they won. That was the only game where the team that lost the turnover battle won the game. Celtics won that in game 6 in the series. And in my head, I was like, the Heat just played the worst game they could have possibly did, and they essentially got
Yeah.
robbed of a win, right?
Yeah.
So and that's why in my eyes, I was like, oh, they're gonna win this. And
Yeah.
then you see everyone on TV, like Richard Jefferson or whatever ESPN head is like, it's gonna be they're gonna complete the comeback. I'm like, I didn't see it, and I think it was just a lot of people were looking at the Heat still as like that 8th seed, and they're not like you gotta look away from that, right? They were the better team this whole series. Caleb Martin was really a revelation. Should he have been the MVP? Maybe. I don't know. Him and Jimmy were kind of the same. I like to lean towards the guy who was a higher usage rating. Like I know Caleb shot his effective field goal percentage in this series was 74%, which the average is 58. So it's stupid what he was doing. So he was a very, very good player. And that's the thing.
Numbers.
This Heat team was missing that Tyler Hero. They needed that second option besides Jimmy. Bam's missing bunnies in the paint constantly in this series. He looked ugly. And then Gabe and Max were, they're being Gabe Vincent, Max Strus again. Duncan was doing fine, but yeah, it's just to see Caleb step up like that was great. We'll get into it next, but I just don't see that happening again. But and then with the Celtics, Jaylen Brown, his win shares in the whole playoffs was only 0.8, which for comparison, Jason Tatum was 2.8, Smart was like 1.4. So Jaylen Brown had a pretty bad playoffs. And it wasn't just turnovers. Obviously, turnovers is a huge factor. Just all across the board. He's looking for $280 million this offseason. He's still going to get it, I think.
Yeah, he's going to get it. But
yeah, it just
don't pay that guy.
No, give it a couple weeks and he'll sign the deal, right?
Yeah.
So, but where do the Celtics kind of go from here? Like, do they run it back? Because people are comparing this to like Jordan Pippen. They lost like this before. And they're only 26 and 24 between Brown and Tatum. I think you got to get rid of Marcus Smart, though. He's the guy. You got to make a move. He's the captain of this team that's just kind of bringing the whole thing down a little bit. You see, there's so many plays with him complaining to the ref instead of contesting the shot, and stuff like that is just getting old. And you need to kind of reframe the mindset of the team. And I think he's a fall guy in this case, but who knows if that'll actually happen.
Yeah, no, for me, watching the Boston's playoff run this year, and I actually ended up really watching a lot of Boston games this season, just in general. But Marcus Smart is so up and down. I mean, he has great moments and stuff in games, but he really does kind of kill them at times. Jaylen Brown is the same too. There was times where, so my wife Michelle was really rooting for Boston.
Sick.
Yeah,
Sickening.
I had to just hold my tongue there a little bit, but it was all right. But she really likes Missoula, the coach. So, but she was like, she was getting mad at Marcus Smart. Like, what are you doing? And Jaylen Brown hoisting up those bad threes and making those bad turnovers. So it's like anybody can kind of watch those games and see the issues those two guys in particular are causing for Boston. I think you're right, Chris. I think Marcus Smart's got to go. At the end of the season and maybe shake things up. As far as Jaylen Brown, I mean, I don't know. He's a really good piece. I don't see what you could do to improve. I mean, there's that Damian Lillard rumor out there right now, but other than that, like, I just don't see moving off of him. He kind of reminds me a lot of like a Levine thing where it's like, I really wouldn't want to pay him, but
the thing is, like, every other franchise would want him.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
every other franchise would talk themselves into it. They'd be like, let's do it.
He had a bad game.
Yeah, if you told me he was coming to the Bulls, I'd be psyched. I'd be like, oh yeah, Jaylen Brown.
Chris said there's a 6. What were the odds? There was a chance.
8-1. If it's not the Celtics, they're like the 4th most likely team.
There we go.
Let's do it.
I'd be happy with it.
Trade him for DeMar DeRozan straight up.
Yeah, Hawks are 2-1 if he doesn't sign with the Celtics. Then 3-1 Bucks, 4-1 Warriors, 5-1 Blazers, 6-1 Bulls. So it's kind of just.
Yeah. We don't have to trade him, right? He's a unrestricted free agent.
Yeah. Well, we can move DeMar.
Move.
Either way. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into the preview, the redo with Wah.
With Wah.
With Wah, that's how it is.
I love it.
Of our Heat Nuggets preview. Heat Nuggets.
We're so cultured here in the box office.
Yes, we're so very,
Bucks Nuggets.
Bucks Nuggets. French influence here. All right. So, Chris, we'll start with you on this one. After the furious comeback from Boston, kind of seeing 3 more games of Miami, did anything change in your mind as far as that matchup? Even where you had kind of were last week in your preview. Were you still like it was like a 5-game series, right? Is kind
Yeah.
of what you were thinking. So did you think Miami's got a little bit more of a chance now? Maybe kind of rolling after a Game 7 win, or do you think, nah, this should be quick?
You know what's weird when we're watching that Game 7? It's like the Heat, both offenses. I don't really understand. Like I was talking about Bam's bunnies just not dropping. And
Bam's bunnies.
there's a better flow with the Heat offense, and the numbers back it up with they were actually the best 3-point percentage team in this playoff so far at 39%. Nuggets right behind them at 38.6. So yeah, the Heat are making shots, but their 2-point field goal percentage is 52%, which is 11th among the 16 teams, and then the Nuggets were 4th at 55. So, but did it change my mind? Not really. It's nice that the Heat have the head, but I think the one thing that we never really question the Heat is their mental toughness, right?
Yeah.
They never felt like the Celtics kind of looked like they were like they needed to go to Topgolf after Game 3, right, in order to get rejiggered. The Heat they didn't talk about that with the Heat. The Heat just like went out and played again. So I still think it's going to be Nuggets in 5. Another stat I had was the opponent. This whole playoff run has been really more about offenses. It feels like because, like I mentioned, 3-point percentages. It's Heat Nuggets opponent effective field goal percentage. Both teams are right in the middle at 53%. But the one thing I'm going to watch for in this series that I'm really interested in is the turnover percentage. So the Heat average about 13% of the time turnovers per game. The Nuggets are tied for last, with the Clippers at about 11. And I know it's like a 2% difference, but like those turnovers, it could be like 4 or 5 in a game. That could be a changer. So I think it's going to be Nuggets. In a perfect world, it's Nuggets. But the Heat are just described. If you get into a pig fight in the mud with this Heat team, he could pull it out, So
a pig fight.
A pig fight.
I've never heard that one before.
That's a new one.
But the analogy is like wrestling in the mud with don't get in the mud with a pig.
If you get in a pig fight, they're in a pig fight. Well, there's a new one for the box out boys. I love it. We got a pig fight on our hands. I can see it. Miami wins Game 1. It's a big fight. I mean, Chris, honestly,
Bam and Jokic down in the paint in a pig fight.
Big Ben having a pig fight. I'm with you, Chris, on this. Like everything in my head is telling me this is a sweep or 5 games at most for the Nuggets. But God, I cannot count out the Heat right now. So Joey, where are you at right now? Did anything change for you? What do you think?
Screw it. Like I'm going with my heart. Last week I was saying,
wow.
God.
I was saying Nuggets, but you know what? We slept on the Heat all season.
Here it comes.
Right.
Here it comes, folks.
Outside of Game 1 of this season, we all slept on the Heat. Right. They had a bad season. We slept on them after they got blown out by Atlanta. We thought they don't have a chance against the Bulls.
Bulls were up 90-87 with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, they were up 7 points in that game with 7 minutes left.
Wow,
in the fourth quarter. It was potentially one of my downs, but I took it out. I took
and it chambered.
It's
a high now. They lost to the eventual champs.
Nobody thought they had a chance against the Bucks. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, 0 chance. And I was like, it's a fluke. It's a fluke. Giannis didn't play. It was a fluke. Then they beat New York pretty handily, and then they do this to Boston. Come on. You got to have some love. You got to give them some faith.
My God.
Nuggets have been off for, 9 days?
That's the thing that scares me, honestly.
Like, Heat are in a groove. These dudes are got to be flying absolutely high. I think if they can get Game 1, I think this completely puts the Nuggets on their ass.
Oh, yeah.
Malone has got to figure out what to do, right? He's in a whole new world here. All these guys are all in a new world.
Jimmy's nobody's won a title here.
New.
Spoelstra's been here.
Did you watch Little Mermaid this weekend?
Way too many times. So
too many previews, I guess. Yeah.
I'm calling it.
He's calling it?
Heat. It's 6.
Wow, it's 6.
Heat in 6. I'm doing it. You know what? You guys laughed at me when I said Nuggets in 5 against the Lakers. Nuggets in 4.
Yeah, that's true. I just laughed at you.
So
we did. We said the Lakers would get 2.
Miami in 6. Jimmy gets his ring, and I'm going to be a happy camper.
Wow. I'm tempted. The thing you brought up about the rest versus rust thing, whatever the hell they're going to be talking about. I mean, I am a little nervous that the Nuggets have been sitting around for a while. I don't like that. I'm with you 100%. I think whoever wins Game 1 wins this series. Both teams have won Game 1 in all their series so far. So I think that's huge. And if the Nuggets go down in Game 1, I think that right away sends the message. I can't do it. I mean, I've wanted to see this Nuggets team in the finals for what, at least a couple of years now, guys. I mean, how many times have we been talking about like
That's
I
true.
love this
Since
Nuggets team.
2020. Yeah.
The bubble, yeah.
I love this Nuggets team. I want them to. Every time I
It
watch
kind of looks
them,
like you have a Nuggets hat on if you
it
look at it
almost,
just for a
it's
second.
almost. If you look quick, yeah, it could be. Everything in my basketball mind, I'm taking heart out of it. Let's take heart completely out of it. Everything in my basketball mind tells me the Nuggets should win this fairly comfortably. But man, I would not be surprised at all if the Heat come out and make this a series. So for me, I got the Nuggets in 6. I was tempted to actually take the Nuggets in 7, but I think I'm going to take the Nuggets in 6. I think Miami's going to get 2 games. They're too good to not get more than a game or 2. I don't see a sweep happening, but honestly, nothing would surprise me in this series. You can tell me, you can tell me the Nuggets sweep. You can tell me the Heat sweep, and I would be like, all right, makes sense. What were you saying, Chris?
I was gonna say, I will say the Minneapolis Lakers I mentioned at the top, they got swept in the finals 4-0. It is interesting, both of your points, how you guys kind of swayed towards the Heat after the series, even though last time we talked, the Heat are up 3-0 and they lost 3 games of the next 4. Since, you guys are like, you know what? I like the Heat even more now.
I like the Heat now.
It's like, wait, hang on.
I think it's because they took that punch. It's like, because the other thing too, like everything. So after games, I think it was game 5 when it was a second blowout in a row. So obviously game 4 being a blowout was and Jimmy kind of smiling on the sideline. It was kind of like this. All right, you know what? They just got him tonight. When they blew him out again in game 5, that's when I was like, I think this is happening. And then when you had that miracle shot in game 6, there's just something about me believed, like, I think these guys are just going to do it. And so then when the Heat kind of just took that on the chin, came back, like really nothing happened, and just blew them out in game 7. Obviously, the Tatum injury and everything going on, but it makes me give them like comments of these guys might just be able to take anything. And then kind of what you guys were talking about, they beat the 2 best records in the league already. They beat the Buckets, the Bucks and the Celtics. The Buckets. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like I know the Nuggets are great, but they just keep taking down these great teams. It's not like they've played a team. It's not like they've had some easy road and there's like this whatever. But I can see it happening. I still take the Nuggets because I just think Jokic is that good, and I think that their team is that good.
So one follow up thing on this for you guys is Caleb Martin who's gonna be the second guy to step up? You guys think for the Heat?
I think it's gonna be Caleb. It's got to be Bam though in my mind for them to win, but I think Caleb's gonna be there. Joey, you got anybody?
I think you're going to get a game from like each of them. Like you're going to have like a Duncan Robinson game, you're going to have a Caleb Martin game, or you have like a Gabe Vincent game. Like I think you're going to get one big shot from each of those guys at some point in time. Like I think that's just the way that they kind of play. Like talk about a team that understands like the hot hand and where to go with the ball when it's working.
Yeah,
you do it better than anybody, right? Like, and it's not a force. Like at no point in Game 7 did they force the ball to Caleb Martin. They just ran plays to get it to him if he was open, and they let him fire away. So I think they'll just kind of find who that is. And I think it all depends too, like if they're playing that zone where they can get Duncan Robinson in the game, or if they have to go man, like it all kind of depends on what they're doing. But the no dunks guys are like saying it today, like the Heat have absolutely nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And like, that's got to be scary for a team. Like
I kind of disagree with that notion, but yeah. The nothing to lose thing is kind of like, what do you mean? They're not playing with house money. They think they can win.
But they're not supposed to win. Like nobody's going to go, if they lose, nobody's going to go, wow, how do they blow this, the finals?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
No one's going to be like, wow, Jimmy's actually not a good player.
It's the nobody believe in us kind of thing.
Spoelstra's a bad coach because they couldn't get this. Like no one's going to judge them if they lose this series.
Yeah. Like if they lose in 6, people are going to be like, oh, wow, they took 2 games off the Nuggets. That's crazy. You know what I mean?
There's a headline with Jokic that said, who says the Nuggets are favored in this series? The media? He's like, completely against. He doesn't care. Like he's shown such apathy towards the media all the time with MVP stuff. So I don't, because I saw stuff like that, and because it's the Nuggets.
The Nuggets are not
the Lakers. If it was the Lakers, I think honestly that sentiment that you're saying, I would believe a little bit more. But because nobody, like everyone's picking the Nuggets, but no one really cares.
Yeah,
about Denver. I still just I don't know. It'll be a fun series for sure. I hope it's a fun series.
I hope it's a fun series. I really hope it's like a close series, but that the Nuggets ultimately pull it out.
Game one's gonna be fun.
Yeah, game one's gonna be.
Tomorrow's gonna be awesome.
Hopefully, game 4 is fun too.
I'm gonna be
because we don't
watching,
get that until like fucking
yeah.
the following Friday.
It's like a 2-week span here.
It's
yeah,
so
this is
stupid.
crazy.
It goes fast after game 4 though.
Days.
It's
Okay,
after game 4. It's every other night. I think.
All right, yeah, it's a minute there between games. So, no, I think the things I'm gonna be watching, Joe, you kind of touched on some of that stuff. The zone, does that work against Jokic, and who's like a notorious zone killer? He's the guy you want, a guy in the middle who can pass.
Well, what do they run a different offense? Do they try to do the? I was gonna say triangle and 2, but the box and 1. Like, do they just have Bam on Jokic, and then the other 4 guys just kind of like
just in a zone? I mean, maybe that's what they do. So I'm going to be watching like the defensive schemes from Miami. Are they able to defend the Nuggets? Because actually, I think that's going to be their biggest problem. I don't think they're going to be able to guard everybody. As going into the other thing I'll be watching is that Jimmy Jamal matchup. Of like, is that just a wash, or is that something where like I think whoever kind of gets the better of that matchup, I think is going to be the team that ends up coming out ahead. And then the other thing I'm really watching for is, so you saw in that Celtics series that Robert Williams was given. I don't know why I said Robert Williams was given Jimmy some problems with his length. And I think you got 2 guys in Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. that can guard Jimmy and kind of give him that same kind of issue. Those guys are 6'10", big body guys. So I think if those guys can guard Jimmy and Jamal can kind of go off still, and him and Jokic are doing their 2-man thing, I think that's when it becomes a wrap. And if the Nuggets are hitting their threes, I don't think there's much Miami can do. But if Miami can slow them down, if Miami can figure out a way to just make it like the Jokic show and nobody else can get anything else, I think that's their plan. And I think that's the move.
Yeah. The one other thing I wanted to point that I'll be watching for in game 1, I don't think Duncan Robinson is going to be playable in this series. I think the way that the Nuggets run their offense is that they're going to be able to exploit. He was so bad defensively in the Boston series, and he shot 71% true shooting percentage. He was the best shooter behind Caleb Martin's ridiculous run in this series. I don't think Duncan Robinson is going to be able to play more than 10 minutes a game because of Denver's just going to exploit his awfulness at defense.
That's the thing. If Miami can't stop these guys, the Nuggets can just outscore them, and I think that's different than like kind of the teams they've played so far, where Denver's offense is just ridiculous. So
also Hero might come back for game 3.
Yeah, that's the other thing, man.
Is it even worth it?
No,
stay.
Everything's clicking without you, man. Just stay on the bench.
I mean, I would have him off the bench.
I mean, if they're in a 2-0 hole, it wouldn't hurt. But if they're up 2-0,
I wouldn't start him.
Maybe still,
you could bring him off the bench.
Yeah, your 7th, 8th man, and he's like, "Hey, give us 10 minutes and just see what you can do." I mean, that'd
be all right.
I'd be fine with that. If you start
we didn't talk about Kyle Lowry this entire time.
Yeah, well,
he's not.
He's kind of
a factor.
Yeah.
He's a non-factor.
He's just kind of a their guy.
He's their guy.
All right. Well, any other things you're watching for in this series? You want to go to our next topic?
Let's go. Well, there will be 2 games played by the next time we talk.
Oh my God! Wow. So
they play Wednesday, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, we might have to shift our schedules or something. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll talk off pod. All right. So let's. Speaking of factors, non and actual factors, we wanted to break down. So we talked about it in the last show that, and maybe it was off the pod. Who knows? That like Zach LaVine's peak would be Jamal Murray. As a clear number 2 on a team, but still can take over games the way that Jamal does. Jamal's an incredible player in his own right. Should be an all-star next year. I know he hasn't been an all-star yet.
Was he not an all-star this year?
He was not an all-star this year. No, he was only like 19 points a game. His regular season was a little rough. He's kind of turned it on in the playoffs. But I think next year, I think that he'll get the nod. But Joey brought up a good point of like, all right, well, who are some other players that could be all-star worthy players if they played next to Jokic? So, a top 5 player in the league and a clear number 1. Who could be that guy that come in as a number 2 and then kind of show some stuff. So, Joey, did you have any players in mind for that?
Yeah, I'll toss my list. I had 4 guys who are all stars, and then I had 2 just kind of not all stars, but kind of cusp. So
Yeah.
I think Tatum
Oh yeah, okay,
becomes ungodly, right? If he's playing with somebody,
if he's a number
like
2,
Jokic, it's just unreal. Devin Booker,
mm-hmm.
Donovan Mitchell. I think these are 3 guys that are very, very similar. Like,
yeah,
they're all very good, but they become like otherworldly if they don't have to be the one creating for themselves. And if we're sticking just to all-stars, I think Levine being an all-star. I got my Levine all-star shirt on. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Potentially could maybe take the next step. That's my stretch there. But my 2 non-all-stars, I think Tyler Hero came to mind.
Oh, nice one. All right, I like
Somebody.
that one.
And then Buddy Hield was my other one. So
That's
Ooh,
a
all
good
right,
one.
yeah.
so I was trying to look, guys who are good
Yeah.
3-point shooters who just can kind of run around the floor, find, screens, find themselves getting open and just looking for those passes, but also guys who are pretty athletic and can get to the rim and look also for those, cut passes from Jokic. So you kind of needed to have both the outside shot and the ability to play inside. So I thought that was a pretty solid list.
Okay.
That's good. So good list. Chris, who do you have?
It's all right. Yeah. I dug a little deeper than the household names, Booker and Tatum. No offense, Joey.
He got Buddy Healed. Hold on.
He got healed. He got healed. I like the healed one. And
here?
I started with that logic with what Joey was saying with 3-point shooters. So I looked at the top 3-point shooters this year, and I started with Malcolm Brogdon and Tyrese Maxey.
Ooh, okay.
I feel like if those guys were next to Jokic, they would be considered also. Tyrese Maxey, 100%.
Maxey, yeah, he came to my mind.
That dude, he's going to be the breakout next year, right? Especially if Harden leaves Philly, he is the man in Philly because he shot 43%. He was amazing. He was shooting like 50% at some point in the playoffs from 3. He is the perfect guy, and he is my number 1 pick for next to Jokic, besides obviously Murray right now.
Yeah.
So those 2, and Brogdon's he's always been a fun little guy. He's kind of like a nerd pick to kind of always go with. And then I got Anthony Simons, who had 9 attempts from 3 this year on average per game at 38%. Guy shot 43% years past. And then one that I just want to throw out there, who I think could actually maybe be on the team in the future, is Terry Rozier. I just remember him in Boston just killing it. 40% from 3 like 4 years ago. He's been in Charlotte for the last 4 years, kind of,
wasting
being
away.
in Charlotte.
Careers die.
You saw Caleb Martin. He was in Charlotte. He's gone. He's killing it now. So it's kind of weird that Michael Jordan owns that team. But anyways, that's where him and Cody Martin was the one drafted. And then anyways, Terry Rozier, man, get him in Denver. So.
Well, interesting. I like those picks. I found similar guys to you guys. This was the 2 that ended up coming up to me. Obviously, I had like Levine. That was one guy that I looked at. But I had 2. My sort of first one that's maybe a possibility. Then I have my better one will be second one. I have Halliburton.
Yeah.
Next to him, a point guard. I know he's more of a facilitator, and Jokic kind of does that a lot. But I feel like he could play off the ball doing that. If he doesn't have to create as much, he would be a nice addition next to Jokic. Just kill a fly.
Chris is
trying to get a fly. Sorry. I meant to mute. I muted last time. And anyways, go.
That's why I didn't notice it last time.
Like
and then Karate Kid. Still buzzing. You gotta get the chopsticks out, bud. This show has been derailed. And then my number 1 guy, I'm actually curious to see what you guys think. Mikal Bridges. He's 26 points per game in Brooklyn right now. A terrific defender, a 2-way player. I actually think he might be better than Jamal Murray next.
Would
to
he
Jokic,
be better than Michael Porter Jr.?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I like Michael Bridges a lot. I don't know if his shooting is as good as
his shooting
Murray
might not.
Porter.
Yeah, might not be what he needs, but I think like him next to as a clear number 2, because I think right now he's going to be the number the de facto number 1 on Brooklyn. I think that's a little bit too much for him. I mean, obviously we still yet to see, but he was a 3 in Phoenix, so I think if he was the 2
Yeah.
behind the Jokic, I would really like. He's a player that I really like. So
I kind of hope he's like the Cal Ripken Jr. of the NBA.
yeah, just keep playing, bud.
Just keep playing, get that streak that's going to be ungodly, unable to be broken.
The Iron Man. All right, we gave him some good names there, man. I like those.
We had no overlap too. I like that.
I know. I think we overlapped teams there with Buddy Hield and Halliburton, but
Yeah.
that's about
Buddy
it.
Hield out of left
Buddy Hield,
field.
that was a sneaky good because his 3-point percentage lights out next to Jokic. That'd be awesome. All right, Joey, well, give us your next 5 Bulls highlights and lowlights.
All right, this is gonna be painful when we get into the downs. So I'll go all ups first, and then I'll just really hit
And
us
then we'll
with
just
downs.
kick us in the teeth.
Yeah, I'll kick you in the teeth, and then yeah. So number 1 up. This was hard for me to do, guys, but I said Kobe White finding his role, and
Nice.
for the first time in his 3 seasons or 4 seasons, whatever it is, I finally felt like I came to terms with Kobe White, and like the team came to terms with like what he actually is, and it is a reliable guy off the bench to give you like 12 to 15 minutes if he's just okay that night, or more if he's on one. And he won them some games. He definitely kept them in a lot of games, and he had a career high in his effective field goal percentage, career low in turnovers, and that was exactly like the problems that was plaguing him right as he came in as the starting point guard, and he was just out of control all the time, and it wasn't consistent enough to kind of force what they wanted him to be. So him off the bench in the role that he played this season was actually like very, very fitting, and it made me happy. So Kobe White.
Since you're saying nice things about Kobe, I want to just jump on it. Should he be the starting point guard for the Chicago Bulls going into next season?
No. He had his chance at that. He proved it. That's not what he is.
So are we sticking with Io?
No, you're sticking with Pat Bev.
Oh God!
I thought we're saving the lowlights for the end.
All right, let's see. Sorry, let's continue.
Another up. Vooch's double-double machine. Vooch is a double-double machine. So he was third in the league with 51 double-doubles this season.
Big time.
7 behind Jokic at 58.
Wow.
And 14 behind Sabonis. Sabonis had 65 double-doubles this season.
Good Lord.
It's filthy. Absolutely filthy. Vooch also played all 82 games. The only other person on the team to do that was Patrick Williams. So
boy,
that was cool. So I gave Vooch some flowers because the more I thought about it, the more I think about it, you could do a lot worse than Vooch at center in the NBA.
True.
You could do a lot worse. You could do a lot better. But you could also do.
You could do a lot better. But you
For the
could
centers that have been available in recent years after they made that trade, they could have done a lot worse.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
All right, now into some better ones. These are good. DeMar outdueling Giannis in overtime on December 28th. So I don't know if you guys remember this one.
Chamber.
He had 42 total points. Bulls scored 13 points in overtime. DeMar had 10 of them. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but they went on a big comeback, and DeMar pretty much just absolutely handled the Bucks in overtime. It was right after Christmas. Everybody was on a nice little Christmas break going into New Year's, and it was a special.
Was that the first win over Milwaukee in a while, right?
It was the first win over Milwaukee in quite some time as well. You are correct. I believe you might have actually,
right?
Yeah, we were actually doing the pod that night.
That night, yes, that's what it was.
Went late. And if you go back in the chat and look, you will probably see me losing my mind for a hot minute after we had finished up the pod. So that was a high moment for me. Right. Another high moment. I was put back at the buzzer to beat Atlanta 110-108. So if you guys remember, like 2 weeks before that, they had lost to Atlanta off the inbound pass to Adrian Griffin's son. They lobbed it to the rim, and he just tapped it in, and they lost at a buzzer beater. But 2 weeks later, the Bulls did it right back to them. It was a good game. Io had 9 points. He was plus 13 off the bench, obviously hitting the game winner, falling away. And then DeMar, Vooch, and Zach all had 70 points. All around good game. Snuck one out there against Atlanta. Then my final up of the season was, I think this has to be the best one, was the Bulls playing victory over Toronto. You had a lot going on in this game. They were down 19 in the third quarter, I was ready to mail it in. I was pretty much done with them. I was very upset. Then Levine came out and said, I will not be denied. Scored 30 points in the second half, 30 of his 39 in the second half.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
He was on one then. And this also was the game that featured DeMar DeRozan's daughter screaming during the free throws, which became a solid like 6 day thing. So that for me,
to go to Miami, and then
yes,
they lose
he
that.
did not.
Yep.
For me, that was my number one up of the entire season.
Hold on, real quick, because that reminded me, because she became a meme. I did want to say during the Heat Nuggets thing that I'm becoming the Jesse Pinkman meme of they can't keep getting away with this with the Heat. They can't keep beating these teams. All right, but continue.
All right, on to the lowlights. So I'll do the first two ones that aren't so sad. But Iowa's regression, sad, and I think we were all kind of really bought into the hometown kid. Like,
is it regression or like stagnation?
Yeah, it's stagnation. Regression's a tough word because it's pretty much the same as it was. The only thing I think that changes it is he came into the season knowing Lonzo wasn't playing, and you knew he was going to be the starter. So I think the expectations were just a little bit higher. Just points were down. His minutes were pretty much level, which is weird considering he started significantly more games. Was down in assists. So just overall, like, you thought you had the chance of, hey, this guy's down. Here's somebody who can step in, step up. And he did not do that. And they kind of ended up with kind of point guard by committee, which was partially why they had the troubles that they did. So that was definitely a down. Another down. This is more, I don't have any stats on this, but the offensive flow, the inability to play to the hot hand. I think probably every game I probably messaged you guys and had a complaint about somebody not just riding who was hot. Mostly, hey, Zach's on one, let's give him the ball. Or Vooch, especially Vooch, right? I mean, you could go back probably and look at games where Vooch had, a double-double in the first half and ended with like 5 more points in the second half. Almost seemed kind of Celtics-esque in a way of like they somehow find a way to like go away from what was working. And they just didn't ever get back to what they needed to be doing to win games. So something they need to work on. And I think too, like also a down is that they knew this was a problem, yet they continued to repeat it day after day, game after game.
True.
All right, you guys ready for the ball kicks here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
let's do it.
We'll do this loss first. So day after the trade deadline, Bulls go to Brooklyn. Brooklyn has traded away their stars. And the package that they got back in return has not showed up in Brooklyn yet. So you don't have Bridges. But the Bulls lose 116-105.
I remember that.
In Brooklyn.
Who's the leading scorer for Brooklyn?
I think it was Cam Thomas.
Blow it up. They should have blown it up after that.
Cam Thomas, maybe?
You mean after the trade
Zach
deadline?
had 38.
Yeah.
After that loss.
Yeah. Zach had 38 in that game, which was a good game for him. The rest of the starters combined had 37. So that was really solid. Brooklyn's bench popped in 48 in that game as well. So just that was a bad one.
Tough.
Ready for an even worse one. Chris, You probably remember this one. Bulls were at Minnesota. They lost 150-126 in regulation.
Damn.
Yeah. This was the game that the Bulls had the big argument in the locker room at halftime or after the game, and it all kind of everything was really fluttering that the team was falling apart. But the Bulls really just let this they fucked this one up. They Bulls big three all had 20 plus. They still got blown out that bad. Minnesota didn't have Rudy Gobert, which I'm not sure mattered, but they didn't have him. They didn't have Karl-Anthony Towns either. Anthony Edwards had 37. D'Angelo Russell had 28, and the bench popped in 58 for Minnesota. So
Naz Reid.
Really,
Naz.
Let me put that one down.
That's tough.
And the number one biggest ball kick of the entire season has to be the Bulls and their ability to blow leads, those specifically being double-digit ones. So let's just run you through the list here. They blew 2 20-plus point leads to Indiana. Keep in mind the same Indiana team that they were seesawing with for the play-in. They blew a 23-point and a 21-point lead against Indiana. Wow. The game where Donovan Mitchell scored 71, the Bulls had a 21-point lead in that game. Yeah. On the road, too. They were up 21 on the road, blew it. They were up 16 at Washington, lost that game. They were up 19 at home against the Clippers and lost there. And they were up 12 at Charlotte and lost that. And then Chris astutely mentioned in the final playing game, they were up 7 with about 7 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Not quite double digit, but they should have had that game. So that was a stretch. And that pretty much all happened between like January and February as well. So they really kicked us in the teeth.
You know what really
Yeah.
hurts? What really hurts with
Stuff.
those is the Pacers, the names of the teams, the Pacers, the Wizards, the Hornets.
Hornets.
It's like, oh, come
Bad
on.
teams.
The eventual NBA champs, Miami Heat.
you got Nugs and 6 though, right?
They got Nuggets in-
you're
they got
still-
Nuggets in 6,
yeah.
but I'm going to keep saying that they lost in the playing game to the eventual NBA champs.
Make yourself feel better.
Make yourself feel better. Wow.
So that's the rest of my downs. Those ones made me really sad. The last 3, the 2 big losses, and then the myriad of double-digit losses.
As always, Joey, an amazing year-end recap of your roller coaster as a fan of the Chicago Bulls.
Don't worry, guys. I'll be
Wow.
back at it again in
Yep.
4 months now.
4 or 5 months.
4 or 5
October
4 or 5
can't come
months.
soon enough for the lawn boss. He's ready to see some more mediocre
red.
basketball.
I'm ready to see red, Titus.
See red. All right. Joey, awesome list, man. Thank you
Thank
for
you, thank
recapping
you.
the Bulls season. I'm sure this offseason we'll touch on some of their potential stuff for the upcoming season. So,
Vucevic, yeah.
Vucevic. All right, Chris, hit us with that trivia. So Joey's been man in the trivia lately, but Chris took it over this week. So, Chris, what do you got?
I feel
for
like
us, man?
we got to give you guys a try. I think Tyson,
Yeah.
I thought, did you do one? Either
I have
way,
not done one. I could do one.
I wanted to do this one. So I'm happy to do the 2010s to 2020, 2019 playoffs total points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks.
All right.
A stat about this: there are 21 unique names across the 51 players or 51
Oh,
selections,
wow.
because there's a tie for blocks.
Okay.
And 16 of the teams are represented in the league. Bulls are on here a couple times.
21
21
individual
names.
players.
So I'll start with points.
And how many do you have per list?
10.
5 or 10?
10.
Top 10.
10.
So
Let's go with LeBron.
yeah.
Let's go Harden.
Yep, he's number 4.
Steph Curry.
He is number 3.
Giannis.
No.
No. Durant.
Yes.
He should be in there.
Lillard. Dame.
No.
No.
Duncan?
Westbrook.
Yes.
Westbrook.
Which one?
No Duncan.
No,
Westbrook.
Duncan. Yeah, didn't know if it was late enough for Duncan. West.
That's 5.
Chris Paul.
Yes. Number 9.
Ooh.
Blake Griffin. Jason Tatum.
No.
Oh wow.
2010.
It's actually kind of hard to. All these guys.
yeah.
Well, 3 of the 4 are still active. Actually, no. Sorry, only half are active. 2 of the 4.
Kyrie Irving.
Oh,
No.
Kyrie's a good. No.
Uh-oh.
Dwight Howard.
Am I
Nope.
lagging or you guys?
I thought Irving too. No,
Oh,
but
yeah.
not. And I did not think. No, Howard's on this list.
Dwight Howard's not on here. No Kyrie.
That's some big names here. Curry's.
Clay?
LeBron,
Is Clay
yeah.
on there?
LeBron's guy.
Kevin Love.
Duncan's guys.
Ginobili.
Nope.
Tony Parker.
Yep.
Tony Parker. So was that 7?
We're at 8. So you're missing
Right.
number 6 and number 8.
Oh, Carmelo Anthony.
No. Still
Wow.
missing, guys. It's actually it's pretty bad. You're missing this one. You're gonna kick yourself for missing both of these. Actually, both.
Derrick Rose.
Oh,
I knew it wasn't, but I had to say.
I
Oh,
picked his name
Dwayne
too.
Wade. Dwayne Wade.
Yes.
Mm.
All right,
Dirk
the last
Nowitzki.
one, guys. The last one. Once you get
Oh.
up, you'll be saying his name the whole time.
Is it
when I do the
Dirk?
other ones. No.
Dirk. I said Dirk. Dirk doesn't points. Anthony Davis.
It's so hard because it's like he
Here's
still
some-
plays, but he just doesn't play often. And it's kind of annoying that he doesn't play that often.
Oh, Mike Conley.
No,
Mike
but he's
was
still very
often.
good. He's still like considered one of the best players in the league if he does play. I just can't get his name.
Anthony Davis?
Dude. No.
One of the best players if he plays, but he doesn't play that often.
Oh,
You know,
Kawhi Leonard?
Yes.
Oh,
I didn't think he had long enough run. That's why.
yeah, shit.
Spurs, dude. That Spurs run and the Raptors.
Yeah, and the Raptors run. You're right.
All right, now let's do rebounds.
Garnett? No,
He's not on this list.
no, it's too early.
It's too early. Duncan.
Duncan is on this list at number 7. Guys, number 1 has 1,626 rebounds. Number 2 is 1,149. He has 500 more rebounds than second place. Number 1.
Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard is number 8.
LeBron James.
LeBron James, number 1.
Wow.
LeBron James is just.
Yeah, I'm saying we should just say LeBron.
It's so stupid.
I don't not say him anymore.
It is ridiculous how dominant the points was. He had 5,150. Durant had 4,000. He had 1,000 more points than number 2 for points. Like it's incomprehensible.
Well, he played in the finals for 10 straight years.
And then Curry is number 3 with nearly 3,000 points. It's just LeBron.
Yeah,
a whole
LeBron.
decade. Guys.
Whole decade.
What are we
LeBron.
talking about? Like it's so dominant. It's so
absurd.
crazy.
It's so
man.
dominant. Yeah, I know. We get off season. I think I'm gonna finally do the case against Jordan.
Just look at it.
So we got Duncan, Howard, LeBron.
Yeah.
Is Marc Gasol on the list?
No, but you're close.
Close.
Paul Gasol.
Yes.
Wow. Pow. You said we have Dwight Howard.
Zach Randolph.
Ooh, good one.
That's a poll. I guessed him too. He's not on this list.
Joakim Noah.
Gobert.
Gobert's a good guess, but he's not here.
Yeah. Not enough.
Verjao.
Ooh.
That's too deep of a cut. We got some names here. That's
Blake
he's
Griffin?
on this list. No, Blake's not anywhere.
Wow.
He's not anywhere.
I thought the Clippers had a couple
Guys,
of
we got some. Okay, again.
Embiid?
No,
he's only made it to the second
there's
round.
one guard on this list.
Westbrook.
Yeah, he's number 10.
Oh, yeah. Draymond Green.
Yeah, he's number 2. We're missing 3, 4, 5, and 6.
3, 4, 5, and 6. Dirk.
No, Dirk's not here at all.
No, Dirk's not here at all. Poor Dirk.
Giannis?
We've already said no. Giannis actually isn't here at all either.
Wow. Well, I guess he's only had a couple of runs.
Right. We've said 2 of the names already, and then 2 of them we have not mentioned yet.
Dwayne Wade.
Nope.
Durant?
Yep.
Kawhi Leonard?
Yes. Thank you, Titus. All right, 2 names that we have not said yet. One is not related, but in conjunction with one of the 2 names you just said. Actually,
right there?
he played for both of them. The guy he played for both Kawhi and Kevin Durant at one point.
Boris
Played
Dio?
with Kawhi
No.
and Durant.
Perkins? No.
Harden? No, you said
Sorry,
said
no.
that.
Yeah. No.
This is
big
hard.
guy.
This is rebounds.
Yeah.
This is rebounds.
Thanks.
Thanks, Chris. Catch that fly yet?
I think so. I haven't seen him.
Which conference we talking?
Yeah.
Well, this guy played in the West and then the East, and the
yeah.
other one only played in the East. The other one that I've not really hinted at yet is still playing. He played in the last series.
Kevin Love.
Horford.
Mm-hmm.
Al Horford.
Now we're missing number 4, and this is a name I almost forgot. I got him with 30 seconds left in this Sporkle run. He played with Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant during his career. He was the first to win a championship of that quad that broke up.
Oh man.
Oh, Ibaka.
Ibaka, yes. I kept saying
Ibaka.
Iguodala, yeah.
Serge Ibaka.
Surge.
All right,
Serge
boys.
Ibaka.
That would have been tough. I wouldn't have struggled on that.
This is fun. I want to keep going. Let's go assists.
All right, assists.
I just want to mention assists. The number 1 has 1,251 assists. Number 2 is 778.
Westbrook.
500 more assists. Westbrook's
go
number 2.
LeBron.
Thank you.
LeBron.
So stupid, guy.
So from the whole decade, he is miles above anybody in points, rebounds, and assists in playoffs. Wow.
Correct.
Yeah, I would love to see the per games on that. Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah,
He's played a lot of games.
We're talking totals, but
Yeah,
still a dominant
totals.
run. We've
Maybe
said
finals
all
every
of these names except one. That are
Yeah,
left.
so it's
3,
Westbrook,
6,
LeBron,
Westbrook, LeBron, Harden.
number
Chris Paul.
7.
Yeah, Chris Paul.
Chris Paul is number 5.
Dwayne Wade,
He's number 10.
Curry,
Curry is number 4.
Tony Parker.
Tony Parker is number 9.
How many are we missing?
3. You got number 3. You got the 3rd, 6th, and 8th.
Draymond Green.
Yep, he's number 3. 6 and 8. 8's pretty obvious if you just don't overthink it.
Kawhi. No, I'm just kidding. Is it Kawhi?
Yeah, it's not a bad guess. It's not him.
Just guess Kawhi in every one of them.
Yeah. I mean, the other guy you should be just guessing on every single one of them as well.
Kyle Lowry.
No, you should be guessing this guy on every single one of them.
Durant.
Yeah, Durant.
And then number 6, he played on the Bulls at one point.
Rondo.
Yeah.
Rondo. Nice job, Titus.
I was gonna say Rondo because it was the obvious one. I was like Rondo, but I was like, nah, that doesn't seem obvious.
All right.
Want to do? Help me.
Should we do steals or blocks, or should we just cut it? What do you guys want to do?
I can cut it. I don't know if I can do blocks and steals.
Yeah, I've struggled mightily. I told you I was gonna be bad at this.
I just want to say steals. LeBron had 321 compared to Harden's 205. Harden was second in steals, which is interesting. And then blocks, Serge Block, I had 275 compared to LeBron's 184. So LeBron was second in blocks.
Oh,
He was first in everything else.
What a bum!
Go debate's over.
What a bum!
That's my favorite. When it's a meme, it'll be like the go debate's over because of this. LeBron got swept.
What a bum!
But the eventual champion, Denver Nuggets, so did go debate's over.
Or it's ridiculous. Yeah. That's
all right. Anything else for tonight, boys? Or you guys want to wrap her up?
I'm good.
I was good.
All right. It's also I did forget to mention this. It is also NBA Finals Eve. So tomorrow night,
Yes.
we start, boys.
Very excited.
I will be lining up my nugs as I'm going to get 15 for Jokic, and we did confirm that boneless wings will count as nugs.
So what happens if the Nuggets lose game 1? Are you going to have 15 for Jokic then, or are you going to have?
So this is funny. Either
way.
way, I don't think I'm going to be able to have nugs for game 2, no matter what happens. So we're celebrating my brother's birthday for game 2.
So get nuggets for his birthday.
Well, we're going out to eat, and then I think we're going to go back to my mom's house for
go to Hooters.
And then on the way home, you get nuggets.
On the way home, I have to house 15 nuggets on the way home.
Yeah. Do it for the pod, Titus.
Or something.
Do it for the pod.
We'll see how it goes for game 2.
Not to count or anything, but Titus
pod,
at
boys.
17 and Joey at 13. So congrats, Titus.
Nice.
On the trivia win.
Trivia win?
That's surprising. Right. I got 13. I must have just been
Good boy, Joe.
a hair second faster than you, Titus. So
you were pretty good. I felt like we were pretty even the whole way.
I mean, Titus just said LeBron every time. Kind of gave him
just
3 points.
LeBron.
Kind of helped.
As per usual, Joey would not mention LeBron's name.
No.
LeBroom. Go debate's over, guys. All right. Well, that is it for us tonight. Join us next week to talk NBA Finals, baby. 2 games will be in the books. Very excited. Heat Nuggets. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch at the Box Out Boys. Slide in those DMs. Join us live Wednesdays around 8:30. Send us an email to theboxoutboys@gmail.com. And as always, like, subscribe, and review wherever you listen to this at now. We very much appreciate that. So for Chris, Joey, and Adam, I'm Titus. Until next time, Box Out!